with a highly objective personality, which, if you can figure that out, spells out hip-hop. Please welcome to the show songwriter, poet, and hip-hop artist, Jemedari. How are you doing, man?
I'm fine,
Welcome
thank you.
to the show. It's good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
You are a lot of things.
I try.
Okay,
I try.
cool. Yeah, you've lived in Nairobi, Nakuru, Mombasa, Tanzania. Very diverse backgrounds, very many cultures to absorb. Tell us your story.
When I was brought up, when I was in my formative years, my parents were still in the hustling phase.
Okay.
So moving from one place to another was kind of like the norm.
Right.
And after that, it became a culture.
Okay.
Every time I have to travel, just go see something new. Go pick up something new. You never know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Your love for music and writing started out quite early when you were in school.
Yes.
Tell us what conjured that interest.
Personally, Mrs. Sese.
Okay. Your
English teacher.
Okay.
She used to be the patron for the poetry club back in primary school. So I was like, oh, well, I love being out there doing something. So let me do something.
Right.
And got into poetry. Slowly by slowly, moved up to competitive rates, I think. Yeah.
Okay. For you and kind of based on, the things that you've learned and, the experiences of your life, what would you say drives your work in terms of what you write, what you perform, your poetry?
I like to say I'm a pessimist by nature, so I like to focus on what did not happen and try to make it happen.
Right.
And then once it happens, look for what went wrong.
Okay.
What went wrong? It wasn't perfect.
The glass is always half empty? No, is it half full or half empty?
In life, it's half full, but
Okay.
sometimes half empty is just the other side of the coin.
It's just the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Well, your main interest is actually music and hip-hop and rap. Tell us where poetry was born in all of that, but first tell us about the music.
The music is something I've been doing ever since.
Okay.
I love music.
Right.
I come from a long line of people who've been doing music, not on the mainstream, but once in a while you'll find there's an uncle who plays a guitar,
Right.
there's someone, so you kind of pick one or two elements out of it. So from that, I decided, let me take this up.
Right.
So poetry came along the way. I was like, if you can write something and recite it without the beats, it sounds like a poem. So I was like, okay, fine, let me go to a few concerts and try do something without the beats.
Right.
And people come and say, hey, that's a nice poem. And I'm like, that's a song. But they say it's a poem, so
okay.
Poetry.
And coming from, rap, performing, and then translating it into poetry, performance style. What is your performance style, would you say? And, I've had many a poet sitting here telling me that it's different. Poems and spoken word and performance are completely different things, and you have to kind of cover out your own niche in all of that. Tell us what your niche is.
I think my niche is the energy.
Okay.
Energy and the little drama that people see on stage.
Yeah.
People don't come for concerts to see or to hear the same stuff they want to hear on the CD.
Yeah.
They want that little extra. So I always make a point of giving them that extra.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Getting a chance to perform, great opportunities have come up for poets, spoken word artists, hip-hop artists all over, with guys like Buddha giving platforms like Wapi, Imani with Slam Africa. What would you say has created this kind of, renaissance advent of poetry and appreciating it as Kenyans? Because it wasn't there in the 90s and early 2000s, yeah?
I think it's mostly a shift in the mode of thinking.
Okay.
Because most industries were controlled by people who think you have to, if you grow up, you go to school.
Right.
After school, you be a doctor, be a lawyer. Nobody even has the guts to stand up and say, hey, you know what, my son is an artist.
Right.
People look at you like, oh.
Yeah, exactly.
But after some time, it came and I think people realize it's a part of society you can't get rid of.
Right.
And art has influence.
Exactly.
So from this influence, people decide, okay, we can make something really big out of this, and so it happens.
And so it happens.
Yes.
Getting that recognition to translate into money in your pocket, it's not an easy thing to kind of dedicate your time, your hours in to write, to rap, and to get recognized for it. But to get paid for it is fundamentally what we all want, Do you think that's possible? Are you getting paid for your poetry, for your hip-hop?
I'll say sometimes.
Okay.
I'll say sometimes.
That's cool.
Everybody needs a side hustle. I don't think there's any artist who lives solely off music.
Yeah, that's true. What is your side gig?
Poetry. I work for an event management company.
Okay.
Yeah, the main event.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
Do you think that there will come a time when you'll tell them, deuces, I don't need this job anymore? Really?
Probably. I'm working on it. Yeah. I'm working on being this big art.
Okay.
Yes.
What is your plan? And kind of like from the business angle, you have 2 mixtapes and 1 music album and quite a good poetry collection. What do you want to do with that?
Album sales are very shifty when it comes to the Kenyan market. So the album is strictly for marketing purposes.
Okay.
You want to buy it, fine. But if you want it free, I'm sure you'll find someone with it and pirate it. So it happens.
Right.
But we have a lot of different channels, and with the internet coming in, so it's so very easy to spread out and get people from the diaspora just listening to you and like, that's someone from Kenya.
Right.
So the recognition is there.
Okay.
So the different opportunities to now start turning this into money through performances or indirectly through publications, books, articles.
Okay.
Yes.
Separating songwriting and poetry and kind of, every once in a while I'm sure they do merge and they do become one.
Yes.
Separating that, is it a difficult thing? Is it a challenge? How do you do it? So that your poetry sounds different, so that your music sounds different, and sometimes it sounds alike. What can you say? It's
a challenge because once you're writing, you have a certain trait of thinking.
Right, yeah.
And you think this is my style. And to have about 4 different styles and stick to them, it's very hard. And it's also hard for whoever's tracking your performance, whether it's the fans, they kind of feel like if you're doing so many styles at once, to you it's diversity, to them it's confusion. You haven't yet found your place.
Exactly.
But maybe you might.
But sometimes it actually works, right?
Sometimes it works.
Okay.
Sometimes it works. People become stars out of that one thing that they didn't think would go.
Right.
But what is your forte? Usually people just ignore it because they're used to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's when you step out of the box that they really listen. Tell us a little bit about your album, your 2 mixtapes, your album, and your poetry collection.
The mixtape phenomenon came from, I was inspired by an artist called Kano.
Okay.
Kano is an artist from the UK. He made it big by doing mixtapes.
Okay.
Look for other people's instrumentals.
And mixtape is not TDK? It's just a mix of...
It's just a mix of different tracks, and you do your thing.
Right.
And once you come up with this, people say, okay, people hear the instrumental and say, that's Lil Wayne. Then they listen to the words, they hear something different.
Right, yeah.
And it's there to just raise their attention.
Okay.
And people think, okay, yeah, there's someone called so-and-so, and they do this. But that's, the mixtapes, you never make money off mixtapes.
Okay.
Do your mixtape, give it out for free.
It's a promotion.
It's a promotional tool. But the albums now are more of making money, more of putting the art out there, the real art, the real you. Nothing copied, all original.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now you